kind of show you like a little review, and then just how to kind of keep yourself accountable past this 8 weeks. So you went through this 8 week higher accountability for yourself, and how just trying to wrap it up and see where we can go from here. So we'll start off a little bit different. We're going to start off with the homework in 5 minutes of fitness, just for the flow of the presentation, so to speak. So once again, always your exercise, 3 out of the 7 days of the week. And then for your homework, we have just re-looking, reevaluating, revising your goals, or creating a new goal. Maybe thinking about a different exercise plan, or just maybe a schedule. If you feel like you're always trying to fit it in, maybe just re-looking at that and seeing how that goes. And then complete a feedback survey. When we send this email out, we will provide our weekly email out. We will provide a feedback survey and we want to know how it was for you. Like, what was the main thing? What were some of the main things that you appreciated about it, didn't like about it? Any constructive feedback is much appreciated. Fitness challenge this week is just combining all the previous week's exercises. And in the Fit in 5 handbook, we'll provide the format that you'll be doing. And it's a style that we call Tabata. And that is where you do 10 seconds or 20 seconds of work, followed by a 10-second rest, just intervals throughout that entire 5 minutes following that format. The exercise variation and speed in which you perform each exercise is going to help determine your intensity. And once again, you can always get creative with these 5 minutes of fitness challenges and make that like a longer workout. So if you wanted to like put that part as part of your 30 minutes of exercise, you could perform multiple sets of that 5 minutes to get you like a full body workout. There's not going to be a lot of flow to this next part, but I'm just going to kind of go over some main points for each topic that we went over. Just kind of highlighting certain things that I thought were important to just take away from, if you were, just wanting to get like a general like overview of reminding you of some of those topics. So let's start off with goal setting. So that's SMART, goal making acronym: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And another thing too, when you're setting that goal, when you're setting your goals, is to identify obstacles. What obstacles might you create that would prevent you from making that wish a reality? Focusing on the internal or self-created obstacles first helps you focus on what's in your control. And then to create if-then plans. So for each obstacle, make an if-then plan. In an example of that would be, if this certain obstacle occurs, I will plan this. So having a plan of action once a certain obstacle comes up. And then the nutrition units. So macronutrients are all essential for your health. Eliminating one from your diet can be dangerous, so balance is key. When you're navigating the grocery store, stick to the perimeter of the grocery store. That's where you're going to have more of your fresh food options, those less processed foods that we were talking about. So seafood, meats, poultry, dairy, fresh produce, all that's going to be on the perimeter of the store, whereas the middle is going to be more of those ultra higher processed foods. In a nutshell, buy a variety of seasonal produce and look for deeply colored fruits and vegetables to get the highest levels of nutrients. Almost all foods are processed in some way. If you recall Kyle's example about, if he goes to his garden and picks a tomato and then cuts that tomato, that food is now technically processed. So when we say eliminate processed foods, we are talking more of those middle of the grocery store foods, like those sugary cereals, those boxed pastas, hot dogs, instant soups, meal replacement shakes, etc. Stuff like that is that's in a box that has been highly processed. So take that for what it's worth there. Time management. Why is it important? Lack of time is typically a barrier and most common when discussing habits and concerns like stress, exercise, eating healthy, and more. So it's always one of those very important things as far as stress management and trying to establish a new habit is time management. You can always refer to week 3 slide deck for detailed of like each time management strategy if you want to relook at those. And then exercise basics, check out the link of that video that Kyle made that highlights a lot of the essential principles for starting an exercise routine, including all 3 forms of exercise: aerobic, resistance training, and flexibility in your exercise schedule is important for your overall well-being. Regardless of what your focus is, like let's say your focus is long distance running, incorporating a day or 2 of resistance training or flexibility is going to overall help that your long distance running. So regardless of what your main focus is, incorporating all 3 is going to help that main focus. And you can go over some of those specific totals, like for instance, the 150 minutes of aerobic exercise, if you're really interested in like knowing more of those exact totals again in our slide deck. So habits and willpower. Use willpower. The thing that we wanted to take home with habits and willpower is you want to use willpower less often throughout your day by eliminating as many micro decisions as possible. This will help you save your willpower for your new habits that you're trying to create or an old one that you're trying to stop. Being proactive, planning and being proactive is what will help you not have what am I trying to say? The defense, you don't have to play defense all the time on yourself. Being more proactive rather than reactive is going to overall help conserve your willpower and establishing your habits. And then some of those main topics: starting small, rewarding often, and joining some sort of group, a social support, are several strategies we went over when we're discussing establishing habits and conserving your willpower throughout your day. Sleep and hydration. Sleep is essential for brain functioning, immune system support, physical and mental performance, mental health, exercise recovery. It's an essential point of wellness. And as for hydration, kind of if you're woman aiming for that 2.7 liters, men 3.7 meters, and all these levels are kind of all over the place, right? So it's based on your body weight, your birth sex, your life stage, diet quality, and your activity level. All those are going to attribute to what your hydration levels should be. So it's not necessarily a one size fits all when we're talking hydration. Stress and self-care. Stress is a natural response to the demands of life. It can create positive change, but can also have negative effects on your health if you are overstressed. Self-care is not selfish. Practicing self-care gives you the ability to be a better person to others because you are helping yourself, and in turn, that's going to carry over into others. And then just a few strategies that I listed out there: stress management, meditation, grounding, gratitude, reflection, positive self-talk and affirmations, going outside, nature walks. Even if there's a bunch of snow on the ground, it's great to go outside and take some nature walks, and adequate, nutrition levels and daily exercise are all good stress management strategies.
Isaac and I had it was like a 2-hour long discussion last week about what we wanted to convey to everyone in the program. And especially what was the message going to be to just help motivate and empower everyone to continue working on, working towards their goals, being more conscious, being, more kind of a wellness approach. So after we were brainstorming and even sharing with other participants, Isaac and I were just kind of sharing other feedback and thoughts from other participants. There was one word and one phrase that continued to kind of loop back into our discussion. And the word was permanent. And then the phrase is which we shared last week in the stress and self-care content, the statement of, I am a better person when I. So we felt that this statement can be just so powerful and even introspective. And really, it's not just the statement itself. It's the driving force behind the statement. It's the why behind the statement or the reason. So like, I'm a better person when I exercise because I feel better and can approach the day more positively. Or maybe it's, I am a better person when I meditate for 10 minutes because it helps me clear my head, clear my mind, refocus. So this statement can be something you ask yourself daily to continue to align yourself with what you need to do to continue making positive behavior changes. And again, those positive behavior changes leading to permanent routines, permanent good habits, permanent positive well-being. So Isaac and I wanted to stress that all of the key topics over the last 7 weeks, they are interconnected. And they're interconnected amongst your entire well-being. So in this image, that outlining blue circle is that dynamic of your overall well-being. And so if one of the essential areas might be lacking, other areas may be affected as well. We may need to focus on one area at a time to maybe not overload ourselves. But if you are focusing on one area, don't lose sight of the other areas, because there might be things you can do with maybe some minimal effort to maintain a high level of well-being. One thing that we kind of noted in our discussion and kind of this, this interconnected aspect of well-being is that this almost kind of looks like or feels like the 7 F's wheel that we did, a few weeks ago. So essentially, if you have a low satisfaction score for one or some of these 10 areas, your wheel will not roll with optimal speed or with optimal energy. And so, just to give you that little bit of that kind of notion, the specifics like nutrition, for example, if you're not eating, if you're eating poorly or not eating enough nutrients, your exercise is going to be subpar because you're not fueling yourself through your workouts. Your willpower might be lower because you're not providing your brain with the glucose it needs to keep your willpower at a high. Stress levels increase, which will affect your sleep and recovery. Even though you might be focusing on your nutrition, again, you need to make sure that you are doing a little bit in the other areas to help support your efforts in the area that you are focusing on. And then again, stress as another example. Because of high stress, you might be eating in excess or eating foods you typically wouldn't when you are in a de-stressed state. Because of stress, you might not be utilizing your time efficiently. You might be skipping workouts or not getting adequate amounts of sleep. There may be other areas of focus that you could include within, the 10 that we have here, but we felt that in its simplest form, that these 10 are essential to your wellness. So as we wrap up our final webinar of the Essentials of Wellness program, remember that your wellness is not just an 8-week program. It is a lifestyle that needs some effort and consideration on a daily basis to make your habits permanent. Along the way, don't forget to reward yourself. And that was one thing that just from a couple webinars ago, that was really eye-opening, even for myself and Isaac. A lot of times we focus on people in general, just focus on the finish line being the reward. Once I achieve 10 pounds of weight loss, then I, am going to reward myself with this, or, when I achieve this goal, then I get this. But it is really important to reward yourself often, so that way you can maintain that internal drive to continue with the habits that you are creating, continue with those things that help create that positive behavior change. And even when obstacles do arise, because you are maintaining that higher drive, satisfaction, that higher energy towards your goal, you'll be able to approach that obstacle and come up with solutions, utilize that if then plan to overcome that obstacle or that challenge. So again, that self-recognition can really help keep you motivated throughout your wellness journey. So again, want to thank everyone for participating and even sticking with the program for over the last 8 weeks. Honestly, it's been such a joy putting together these webinars and educating, as well as even the moments and opportunities to share experiences and personal knowledge with you.